So, ladies and gentlemen, Willow. The ratings were actually the worst for Disney Plus, right? They were some of the most awful ratings for any Disney Plus show you could get. They were absolutely terrible. Now, we have some figures here. This is like some old news, but what the new news is that despite not being generally well received, I mean, you could say 65% is well received, but I mean, it's not really when there was no one watching it. The writer has come out and called Disney Plus's decision to ditch the show from streaming service absolutely cruel. Mate, it's business. No one cares. It's literally just business. It didn't get good viewership. It was awful. So according to Samba TV, this was 2 episodes that were released when it premiered. Only 481,000 households watched Willow in the first 5 days. And that was with 2 of them. So that's 481 watching Willow for 2 episodes. That's atrocious. Now, yeah, that is US households. But it wouldn't have been much more elsewhere, because this is very much a US-based kind of show. So Samba TV, initially, they released their numbers, and Willow would mark the lowest rating for a show on Disney+. Now that was lower than the lowest watched Marvel show, Ms. Marvel, which only saw 775,000 households tune in during the first 5 days. And just to put it into perspective, the shit heap that was She-Hulk had 1.5 million households in the first 4 days. So Willow was from Lucasfilm, and they couldn't even compare to other Lucasfilm numbers, right? So now initially, this was the initial release score. This was like episode by episode, and then you've ended up with this as the sort of roundabout. But people just didn't like it, and those that did like it, sure, you know, you might have liked it, but no one was watching them at all. At all. No one watched this show. So the writer coming out saying absolutely cruel, I mean, it's just nonsense. It shows this huge disconnect from writers and fans. So let's take a look at this. Hit subscribe if you're new here, guys. But during Disney Plus's recent upfront presentation, it was confirmed that the streamer is in the process of reviewing the content on our direct-to-consumer services to align with the strategic changes in our approach to content curation. You know what that means, don't you? We're trimming the fat because we're losing money, and they were losing serious amounts of money from Disney Plus. So much so that they're now being sued, by the way, for misleading shareholders on Disney Plus losses. Now, you might need to have a business degree handy to understand that, but the gist is that the company has decided to remove content from Disney Plus starting May 26 in order to save money. That's all it was. And this, you don't need a business degree to understand that at all. It's business. They're trimming the fat. Now, the company will take a write-down in the June quarter of $1.5 billion to $1.8 billion by removing content from its streaming platforms. So from there, Disney can exclude the value of its content from its balance sheet, preventing it from being reported as an expense in subsequent reporting periods. So that's why they're removing it. So again, when I say trimming the fat, they're literally trimming the fat. So presumably, Disney will consider offloading some of these movies and TV shows to other streamers, but for now, they're gone. Good, because they're terrible. Now, the biggest surprise of this article was like, oh, it's Willow. No, it's not. It's not a surprise at all. Again, we've covered that. Yeah, sure, 65%'s fine. Fine. But that's not the be all and end all. The issue is no one was watching it. Literally, no one was watching it. Willow was barely in it. It was just about a princess who's set to get married to a loser prince, where her twin brother, the best swordsman in the realm, gets kidnapped, and a band of weak misfits who aren't capable of much anything, let alone battle, is off to save him. Ugh. So the best fighter gets killed off right away. And just as an FYI, one of the writers was, well, the show was put together by Jonathan Kasdan, who wrote Solo, so that explains a lot. failing up. So this would obviously get cancelled after one season. And they're like, oh, the door was said to be open for more episodes. No one cares. No one wants to watch this. As you can see below, one of the show's writers, John Bickerstaff, is very upset with the news. So too is Y the Last Man's showrunner, as that short-lived Hulu series is also set to be taken down later this month. And this is what they say. They gave us 6 months, not even. This business has become absolutely cruel. 6 months for what? What are you on about? And then people are liking it. It's like, no, this is business, man. Will you work on something for years, pour your heart and soul into it, as do hundreds of other artists? You make it during a global pandemic, far from home. Then it's cancelled before it even has a chance to finish airing. Then it is disappeared. Yeah, I mean, look, look, I'm sure it sucks, but it's still a business. You got paid. So here's the list of shows that are being removed. This is from Disney Plus and Hulu, by the way. America the Beautiful, Among the Stars, Be Our Chef, Best in Dough, Best in Snow, Better Nate Than Ever, The Big Fib, Big Shot, Black Beauty, Cheaper by the Dozen. God, they're still making that. Christ. Clouds. Darby and the Dead, Diary of a Future President, Disney Fairy Tale Weddings, Dollface, Earth to Ned, Encore. Everything's trash. This is trash. Foodtastic, Harmonious Life. Have you heard of any of this? Howard, It's a Dog's Life with Bill Farmer. Just Beyond, Little Demon, Love in the Time of Corona. Maggie, Magic Camp, The Making of Willow, The Mighty Ducks, Marvel's Hero Project, Marvel's Empower, More Than Robots. I've never heard of any of this. The One and Only Ivan, Own the Room. God, no wonder they're binning this crap off. Pick of the Litter, Pistol, The Premise, The Princess, The Quest, The Real Right Stuff. Honestly, I've only heard of Stargirl. Turner and Hooch, that rings a bell. If it's what I think it is. And I've heard of Willow, because I've done reports on it. And that's it. And then Why the Last Man. No wonder they're binning it all off. Because it's crap. But remember, ladies and gents, it's absolutely cruel. Maybe, John Bickerstaff, you should do some better work. How about that? Formerly Willow. That's literally all you've done, is it? Grounded, the Romanoffs. I mean, you've not really done a lot. Ugh. Anyway, thought you'd find this funny, because I definitely did. Take care.